The mere mention of the Ninja Turtles to any man, woman, or man-child in their late 20s through mid-30s is sure to elicit a response. Today you're likely to hear how Michael Bay and his favorite screw Megan Fox are about to drop a bomb on their memories. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. Just remember, the quality of Turtles media has always been a bit inconsistent. During the 16-bit gaming era, there were two main titles released, one for the Super Nintendo and one for the Genesis Mega Drive. The Genesis title played more like it was a combination of the two arcade games, while the SNES release of Turtles in Time was a modification of the arcade of the same name. Let's take a retrospective look at the game that's been in my own personal collection since 1993, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist, for the Sega Genesis. Let's get the elephant in the room out of the way before it makes a mess on the carpet. The Genesis cannot compete head-to-head in pure graphical fidelity with the SNES. Having said that, its ability to process animations and the speed it's capable of doing it exceed the Super Nintendo, or at least Sega knew how and shared it in their dev kits. That was the case with this and many cross-platform titles of the era. The SNES had better eye candy and still images, but the Genesis had faster and smoother animation. But at the end of the day, the Hyperstone Heist still has stellar graphics for the Sega Genesis and the best animation between home versions. I call it a total wash between the two because they're both exceptional in their own way. The audio is a total mixed bag here. The superiority of the arcade and SNES stand out far too much to be ignored. The music has that signature Genesis twang, and the tunes carry surprisingly well from their arcade counterpart. They sound different, but not worse. The sound effects and vocal samples stink. The attack hits, weapon swings, explosions, none have punch, despite the fact that Genesis can produce bass quite well. If you listen closely, you'll notice many of the effects in the Hyperstone Heist eventually got recycled into Castlevania Bloodlines, another game known for crummy sound effects and great music. The voice samples are muddy and full of static, far more than most other Genesis titles. Overall, the music is passable, but the sound effects are an absolute train wreck. I'm gonna say it right here, right now. The control scheme of the Hyperstone Heist is better than any other Turtles game of the 80s and 90s, including the arcade. I've played every one since 1987 and rented or owned the console versions of them when they were new. This one is the best. Now for the explanation. The ability to dash via a button press without double clutching the direction or having to cover a certain distance, that's great design. This is the only one that has it. The Hyperstone Heist also feels a bit more responsive. The SNES and arcade of Turtles in Time suffer from stiff vertical and direction change movement and reliability engaging the dash when in trouble. You are in total control of your turtle, and with the wealth of abilities and the ease of pulling them off in this version, the control scheme is top-notch for a game of this style. The Sega version pulls well ahead thanks to great design and wonderful controllers for this type of game. No 4-player gameplay. Konami botched this on both 16-bit consoles. There are 4 Ninja Turtles. The Sega team player that was in production and 2 months away from Sega's release supports 4 controllers. Gee, let's do some math here. They showcase just how many sprites they were able to get on a screen at a single time without flickering and slowdown. 4-player gameplay should have been here. With the enhanced control capability of this version, the combat and movement is the most enjoyable. That is the only advantage the Hyperstone Heist has. When it comes to variety of level design, this title bombs harder than bad guy Tiger Woods at a PGA Tour major. If you want to throw enemies in the shredder or enjoy the Mode 7 gimmicks of Neon Knight Riders, you won't find them here. If you want to simply move right and beat up everything on the screen for 30 minutes and easy, up to an hour 30 for hard mode as your favorite Ninja Turtle, this is it. On my arbitrary aging scale of 1 to Hell and Mirren, I give this title a solid Raquel Welch. The game is showing some age, but thanks to modern emulation techniques, a few cosmetic tweaks is all that's needed to keep most graphic whores happy. The Hyperstone Heist is fairly difficult to get for a reasonable price. If you find it in very good condition, complete, for less than $25 US, buy it on the spot. Otherwise, take a fusion and enjoy this blast from the past.
The soul of decency! 若者よ、真剣に取り組んでいるものがあるか。命がけで打ち込んでいるものがあるか。姿サターンしろ。指が折れるまで、指が折れるまで。